Alright, what's going on everybody? JJ Wilson is here, and for this video I just want to briefly give my thoughts about a recent anime series or fight anime series known as Megalo Box, which is an offshoot to a old anime show called Shoutout no Joe. And I don't want to really spoil anything because the series itself is not that long. It's just overall 13 episodes into it, but the least I can do is just give you a description of what the anime is all about in particular. So basically, like I said before, it's a fight anime. It's regarding boxing for those that are into boxing, the sport itself. But the difference here is these guys that are fighting, they're using enhancements. I guess they're like mechanical attachments or whatever. You know, it's like the latest technology that these fighters use to help them enhance their strength, their speed, their accuracy, and their punches and things like that. I guess it's supposed to make boxing that much more lethal and exciting to watch, which is my take on it. And basically, just based on the various fights that I've seen with a lot of these guys, like they fight longer than 12 rounds even. Like they'll go as long as the rounds take them, you know, unless somebody gets KO'd pretty much. Yeah, they're not just going to go by unanimous decisions or majority decisions. Like they're actually looking for somebody to get KO pretty much. So that's kind of one thing I noticed right away. Like there was no, 12 round stoppage, and you guys say we need to pick a winner. Nah, somebody's got to get KO, man. There's got to be a definitive winner. So basically, the show right off the bat, it tells you who the protagonist is and tells you who the antagonist is. And that's going to be Joe, who's the protagonist. The guy with the curly hair, he kind of favors Mugen from Shamrock, shampoo a little bit, and he's got the scars around his body, which kind of reminds me of Gene Starwind somewhat as well, because he gets beat up so much in his manga. It's ridiculous. I mean, even for his trainer Nambu, which for him, like for me, he was kind of a roller coaster. Like I didn't like him at first, then I liked him, I didn't like him again, and then I liked him even more, especially after what he did to help Joe continue to fight in Megalomania. The loops and hurdles he had to go through, and even the sacrifices that Nambu had to make in order to keep Joe from, not fighting anymore. And so you got him, and then the last little kid, Sachio. He's like that third partner in that whole team. They call themselves Team Nowhere, so it's Joe, Nambu, and Sachio, the kid. And Sachio, he has a little posse with him too, but you're gonna see more of him anyway. And he's kind of like that water boy, but he also gives Joe tips on what to do. So it's basically his expertise with the Megalobox technology, Nambu's experience as a boxing trainer, and then Joe's experience as a boxer himself, and his tenacity and toughness that gets them through the hurdles of Megalomania, which is the boxing tournament that they're entering in order for Joe to kind of fulfill his dream as being one of the best boxers out there. And so why did it get into this tournament in the first place? Well, from my understanding, the setting of this anime, like I'm thinking this is Japan because all these characters have Japanese style names and things like that. So I'm thinking it's like 50 or 80 years into the future of Japan in a sense. So gradually it's going to become more diversified, but there's also a huge divide between classes as far as income is concerned. So you got the high class, which is where the antagonist is, Yuri. Let me talk about him briefly. Now, out of all these characters that we've seen in Megalobox, this guy clearly has the best technology because he's working for the top company that sponsors the Megalomania tournament, shoutout. I mean, just look at the framework of this armor that he's wearing, or this boxing gear is just immaculate, man. But eventually, during this tournament, Yuri is he's gonna start doing things his own way. So he eventually leaves that company. So that's one little spoiler I will give you guys. But like I said, if you want to see the outcome of Yuri and Joe fight, then you got to watch the whole thing. Oh yeah, and by the way, these guys do fight more than one time. So that's one good thing about this series too. That it's not just the first only fight. They do have another encounter. And so like I said, Yuri represents the higher class, and Joe, Nambu, and the kid Sachio, they represent the lower class. They're kind of like the nobodies of society. Not necessarily nobodies, but they they're not highly regarded amongst the regular populace within that city where the Shoutout company is. And there's a couple of other noteworthy characters in the story too, such as Yukiko, the head of the Shoutout company, who is the business partner of Yuri. You know, her grandfather, well, before he had passed away, hired Yuri to come in there to represent Shoutout and to be the volunteer guinea pig to wearing that specialized Megalo Box gear that he's using. And so it kind of, throughout the series, it kind of looks like she has developed some type of feelings toward Yuri, even though he doesn't really reciprocate those feelings back to her. And so if you want to know where that goes, you have to continue reading, not reading, but you have to continue watching the manga. I mean, you'll have to continue watching the anime. And then you have her brother, who's actually not part of that company, but he wants to take that company for himself, Mikio. Probably the most disliked character in this whole anime series, at least for me, because what his gear basically does, it just reads what the boxer's going to do before he even does it. So it's kind of giving him like a cheat code during the boxing fight on what that guy's going to do. So it's almost like that's not really a boxer, man. He's just being a cheat. You know, he's just kind of making it. He's kind of making an easy way to fight, pretty much, with the gear that he's got. So you'll see what I'm talking about once you watch it. And then the very person, another antagonist in this manga that's really, I mean, he means business, man. He's a no-nonsense type of person. Fujimaki, the Yakuza boss. Which is another reason why I indicated that this story is definitely in Japan. So he's the one that's responsible for Nambu making all the crazy decisions regarding Joe, as far as throwing fights are concerned, and telling him to take dives over and over again during these fights, because he actually holds Fujimaki a lot of debt. Nambu does. So this is part of the reason why we have such a roller coaster in character development with Nambu. But those are basically the characters I want to touch on in that series. So, like I said, for me overall, I thought it was excellent. The music was great. Another thing I liked about that series was the character intros going into the fights with the boxers. The music was on point with that as well as the graphics. And overall, it was good. It was good storytelling to me. You know, it wasn't necessarily about the gear itself. It was just about the pride of the boxers, man. They just wanted to prove themselves to be the best that there was out there in the sport of boxing. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I do want to give a special shout out to Johnny the Bluesman for making the reviews. So if you guys want to watch each episode and then you want to see what other people are talking about, I would definitely recommend his channel. I might even put it on the box, on the description box below on the YouTube video. But anyway, that's going to be all from here. Do enjoy yourselves. Do watch this manga and this anime. And I'll check you all later.